What's up, guys? I'm CJ, and this is my process. We're going to walk through this podcast intro that I just finished writing. I'm going to break it down track by track to show you how I made it, exactly what I did, and I hope you like it. Thanks, guys. Let's jump into it. From a 30,000 foot view, I have this broken up into really four main bodies of sound. So you have, I suppose three. So you have core, rhythm, and effects. So the core is just the pitch stuff. Here, let me play this. And can I zoom in on? Yeah, that's not really gonna matter. So yeah, that's the core. Here's the rhythm. Oh yeah. And then we got the effects. So it's kind of glitching. You got something low going on right there. Got some stuff going on in the background there as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. That's the 30,000 foot view. Okay, so let's work our way down. So I recorded some vocals. I actually, in the background, I messed around for hours and hours and hours to get something piano related there. I recorded, I don't know how many takes, and there just came a point when my voice seemed to make sense. I don't even know if I'd call it the best decision, but it just felt right. So if we look at this, so here's a low. For the ooze, I really, come on, Melodyne. I don't want the website. What I did is I drained the life out of this in Melodyne. I flattened the pitch and any variation. For the bass note that really carries the bass, I really wanted to get extra bass. So I have R bass right here. Here's when I take it off. Where's the off? There's the off. Here's with it on. So you can see there is a difference. So let's do that. And then do I have anything else on the other ooze? I don't. It's really just the bass. Oh, the middle ones I panned hard left and right. And then the high one right now I just have in the middle again. So like I said, the life is just drained out of them. So if I do those, it just does a really, really good fill. So yeah, that's those. And then here, I wonder if I can even zoom in on these more specifically. Yeah, so these, the do's. Let's play those soloed out. One thing that's really, oh, sorry, I wasn't showing my screen on that. So one thing that's really interesting about this Melodyne is originally, here, let me undo the changes. I'm gonna take out some of the dignity that I built up. So the cutoffs weren't nearly as good, and beyond that, these notes actually originally, whoa, can it stretch? I don't know. Well, point is that these notes originally carried the whole way through to the end of the measure, but I wanted to keep it really clean. And then also, as you can see, I swear that it wasn't this off when I recorded it. But yeah, so like then what I did is I cut off the middles of that so it's more clean, and then I varied the pitch so that it was a bit more interesting. So yep. Then I have the compressor sidechain to the kick. Not so it goes out entirely. I cut out a lot of the mids. I don't know why I got 2 of those. Oh, right, because that came later. But I cut out a lot of the mids so that it doesn't conflict with the other stuff. And the other thing too, just speaking of that, is, let's see, the bus. So yeah, I got the compressor, and then same thing for I have a Pro C from FabFilter going over this. So let's go back to those bass just one more time. Oh no, I just want this. Oh, that's over everything. So yeah, let's play all that together. Oh yeah, so, and just on the do's, if I play everything, listen when I take out the do's. It doesn't quite have the energy, so to speak. It kind of keeps the track moving just a bit more. I like it. Now let's walk through some of the pitched elements. So let's see here. When I play all these soloed out, here's what it sounds like. Oh, let's not play that. That's not in the track. In fact, I think I might take this up just a little more. But yeah, so let's walk through this. So this bell right here, it's like a lower pitched bell. Just want that. And then what's really interesting about this bell here, and I'll play it on the piano for you, is it was originally supposed to be the melodic tune of a song that I was working on. So the melody did work with the chords, but what it didn't work with was, well, dialogue was playing and it couldn't take the attention, but it was too cool to not do something with it. So that being said, I glitched it up and just kind of reversed it and faded it. This is a bit deeper of a note, but this melody was for a song that the main chorus idea was, I believed you would roar, I believed you would roar. And so I think it's cool to have that nuance baked into the track for my podcast, because really for the podcast, I want it to serve as a milestone for people's stories and where they're going. And I believe in them and what God's doing in their lives. And I think that's awesome. And I think it's a very subtle nuance baked in. So I'm proud of that. So right here, we have 2 more elements of the bell. And so it's just reversed up to the end. And then this one right here, it kind of adds a tail to it. So really, if I mute them in the track altogether, what if I put them back in? Check it out. And what's interesting is that pitched tail, you basically don't fully hear it, but if you take it out, It's way more of a dry cutoff. Here's with. So I thought that was super cool. This is a very interesting scenario. So I will mute this and play this. Back when I was messing around with pitches, I was looking for something really neat, really sound designy, really glitchy. And so I was working with Exhale by Output. And let's see if I can pull up the plugin for you. Let's see. Yeah, so this is the plugin, and this is what it sounds like with it. Super cool. I really like it. But there comes a point you need to make the right call. Well, it was too cool to get rid of entirely. So I added a lot of effects and I resampled it and I flattened it to audio. And then I eventually, let me unmute that and do this. I'll play this for you. Let's see if you can't. Here, I'll solo this again so you can know. So now that you've heard that, pay attention to this. So I added reverb. I did a lot of reversing. I'm an advocate, a proponent, a champion of reversing audio. It's super cool. So now that you've heard that, you know, that could just be even a little louder. I really want it to come out. In fact, why did I do this right here? I need to know. Oh, I think I might actually leave that on. And even this right here. Whoa. But really, what I'm going for, and I'm trying to center the groove largely around, obviously, the kick and the clap/snare. And it's all kind of revolving around those beat points. So if I take it out, here's what it sounds like. It doesn't nearly have as much the impact leading up to each one compared to when I put it in. So I like it. These are all in MIDI right now. Let me play the bass. These are things that are no longer in use. I'll just delete that. I was using the cassette tape. If you've watched any of the other videos leading up to this, you'll know that the cassette tape used to play a really big part in this track. But then as time went on, I just couldn't. There's so many other ideas with this, but it wasn't what the track needed. So that being said, you get the axe. Sorry, plugins. Delete. Come on, guys. Go. There we go. Bye. Yeah, so the bass, it's letting in more highs, as you can see in the automation down here. do I want it to do that? Let's play it with. Okay, well, really what it's doing is it's in tandem with that vocal. Super low. Ooh. Compared if I put this on. I'm really curious to compare now though what it's like without this. See, here's the thing. If I do that, then at the very beginning, the synth bass is obviously a part of it. But when I put this EQ on right down at the bottom, then the focus is way more in my voice, and I like that a lot. So this part right here, you wouldn't really know that this was in the track unless I told you, but there's some ethnic pitches playing. So yeah, and then of course there's the tremolo. So if I take them out, here's what it sounds like. Here's with. Without. With. It's one of those things that really fills out the track, and I think that that's how it should be. Okay, and that takes us to the rhythm section, which I'm very also proud of. Let me solo out the rhythm section so you can just get a feel for it right away. Yeah, so let's start with the kick, okay? Kick. So, nope, I just want the kick. So one thing I'm going to point out is if I just play this, it's a little more dry. So there's the kick and then the clap. The kick has a high end to it. It's not too fancy. Okay, so there's a send going to a reverb, and the reverb is getting automated. So yeah, so really pay attention. Let me see if I can't blow this up for you. Is that going to go up? No, it's not. Well, I had to try. So yeah, and then at the end it only comes up halfway just to add a bit of a tail. So yeah, that's kind of what that's doing. The crystallizer. Okay, so then the kick, I suppose this is also from the clap as well. So I got a reverb followed by a crystallizer. Listen, if I take off this, you can kind of hear the reverb coming in and out, and the reverb here. Now, if I put the crystallizer on, I got it up pitched 2 octaves. Now, what I had to do is I have 2 utilities automated the same way, because you have, of course, Valhalla Room. I want to automate that so there's a cutoff, and then from there in the signal chain it goes to the crystallizer, and the crystallizer is heavily affecting that, but in a way that it's adding a lot of other effects after it. So I had to do the same utility stop after that. So watch if I take this off. Now if I put it on though, Do you like it? I like it. So yeah, I thought that the automation, especially the reverb, really plays a role in filling out the track just a little bit more. Now for the kick and the clap, it sounds pretty filled out. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to add just a bit of extra natural reverb. So I have the percussion from Jacob Collier's plugin with Native Instruments. So can you imagine getting your own plugin with Native Instruments? I know Alicia Keys has one, but like it's Alicia Keys and Jacob Collier's. So yeah. Yeah, so when you add that in with the clap and the kick, this is what it comes out as. Whoa. Yeah. Here's without the choir percussion. Here's with. You can really hear it on the sides especially. Oh, and speaking of the sides, actually that is what I did. I used a vocal doubler to kind of... So here, let's go back to just this. If I take this off, or yeah, bypass. It's way more in the middle, and so when you unbypass it without with, yeah, and then on top of that I added a transient master, and I really I took down the decay all the way, and then I took the attack up. So really, let me bypass that now. It's way more in there now. But this is such an electronic track that you can't have it that much in there. So here, let me unbypass that. Bypass. Let's just listen in context just to see how drastic of a difference that makes. Here's without the transient master. That doesn't sound half bad. I don't know if I'm going to convince myself the other way, but here, let's listen without again. And here's with. Without. Oh man, now I'm torn. Okay, so let's maybe compromise a bit. Take the attack up and the sustain down, or the sustain up by like halfway, 50%. Smooth off. Let's do that, and then let's take the volume of this down just a bit. Here, I'll just do the volume over here. Is there reverb on this plugin? Sorry, this was meant to be a here's how I did this track video, and here we are. Let me take the reverb off. Why was I thinking? Okay, I think that's much better. Okay. without at all. Let me put it in there. I'm really curious about the attack. Here's when we put the attack up. I like it way better with the attack up. Well, we made some changes today, but I like it though. I think that that's very, very good. In fact, now that I took the attack up just a bit, I'm gonna take the kick and clap down the smallest amount. I love it. I love it. Okay, so now let's go to the watch. So this is really, really simple. You know what will never cease to amaze me about this ticking watch is the difference it makes when you take it out. So here's without. So there's nothing consistently on the offbeats, but if I put the watch back on, that's the wrong one. I'm thinking. Click, click, click. It's just consistent and it really helps. Here's off. And here's on. Yeah. And by the way, it's a plugin that actually is a watchmaker. I think I got it for like $3 online. I'm just saying, but like this was a very well spent $3 in my opinion. Yeah. Okay, so this one's a little wild. The sound design, let's see. So when I go to the clips with different warps selected, okay, I guess I'll have to do one at a time-ish. So the pitch is knocked up 4 octaves. Let me put it down. That's what it originally was. But let me put it back up. I clicked stuff and I got it to where it is. And that's just that one. What are you at? So this one's pitched up like 2 octaves. Let me undo that. It was originally way more like a scraping. If I put it up, it's more like a zipper. So, I don't know. So, and then here, let's see what we got here. Yeah, an octave, you can see that the settings, oh my word, I'm on the wrong, there we go. Here, it's 180, yep, it's on warp, it's set to beats, and it's the same thing there. I originally had things like this going on, but I thought it was too distracting. Well, I don't hate it. Okay, here. Let's take this down. Good amount in volume though. Okay, so that's really subtle and it just made the take. So dope. You get the drift with those. They are cool. and we are moving on. So here we have a whole bunch of slew of complete controls, native instruments, Glitch Hero plugin. And so here I messed with different takes in Glitch Hero. I took the release way down so it'd be more tight. The volume is pretty low. Just as an aside, when I'm mixing, I've been doing a strategy where I'll mix via utilities throughout as I'm going through. That way, when I do really get to mixing, then all the main faders are relatively untouched. And then I feel like I can automate a bit more cleanly. If I'm going to do that, I actually haven't automated at all on these. If I automate in a utility, then when I move the main fader, the utility goes with it. I just think that works for me. So, yeah. Also, as a second aside, when I've been starting out with plugins or MIDI tracks, audio tracks, I have the utility automatically set really, really low. In fact, just to show you, I have an audio and then I have a MIDI. You can see down here, I automatically have utility set to -20 dB. And the reason is, let me delete that. The reason is, then when I am mixing and I put a plugin on there, sometimes plugins are just so loud when it first goes on there. But I'd rather start out too quiet and move it up than too loud and have to crank it down. And you get the idea. Where was I? Right. So Glitch Hero. Working on this, and then what are you? Well, you didn't make the final cut. Nope, delete. Then you. Yep, just some tight stuff on the sides. Oh. Now that this is so funny. It's like I'm going through showing you this is how I made it. But because I'm doing a bird's eye view, track by track, I think I'm experimenting. Oh, maybe this doesn't work. Maybe this does work. So here, do you? If I leave this one on, it doesn't give as much separation for the deuce thing, the thing, where I think I like that. And then here, I think I do. I still like this, but I kind of think that the volume on these needs to be a little different. So here, can I do this? There we go. Let's do a little lower in volume. See, that's cool. And then here, whoa. Okay, and then here, a bit more of an automation. Here I might do the opposite. I'll get that out. What if I just didn't have those there? I think that I like the groove better without these four things right here. If I leave it on, I think that it takes away from the female vocal that's panning high from one side to the other. So if I undo this, then suddenly what you got going on is it's much more beautiful is the word. Let's finish listening through this. Oh, that is it. Yeah, so you get the drift. I don't say that phrase a lot. You get the drift. So cool. And then I got some snaps in there. With a doubler and of some reverb and then a shaper box. Kind of overkill for a snap. If I were to undo, or like, so let's group those and then undo this. Okay, cool. But now let's put this. Huh. Yeah. Also, I feel like I missed something up here. I feel like I missed, what was it? Oh, soothe. Yeah, if I take soothe off. Well, that did almost nothing. Okay, let's move on. And then what do we have here? Oh, and then that kind of adds some flavor to the kick and the clap. Blah. Why was it not playing here? That's kind of odd. Ooh. Ugh. Well, that was muted, so let's do that. And join that. Now maybe I can see my word. There we go. Let's listen without it. I think I might want it without. The kick sounds more clean without it. Do that. Take it out. In a really weird way, it almost adds a higher end to it to really sell the crowd idea. I'll compromise. I'll take it down in volume. Love it. Okay, that is the rhythm section. Now all we have left is the effects. What do we have here? So, nope, solo out. So then this is really subtle in the background. So yeah, I have a glitch right here. Let me just get you. I have it, I guess not a whole lot done to it. I have a lot of the low end cut out. That was, what if I left it in? If I could take some of it. Cool. And then this. You know what I think I'm going to add that I haven't added yet? All right, guys, you ready for this? Check this out. So the panning right here, let's go to automation. So panning and panning. We want it to end up here for anything else happening in the track. But let's start, let's see. Let's start this one towards the left and work it towards the right. Ooh, and then start this one. Oh no, that one's right, working to left. I feel like the main one needs to go left to right because it's reading, and maybe I'm OCD like that. You know, like you read left to right. In America, we do. And then this one's going to go right to left. That might sound really cool. Here, let's listen to both of these. Got you, then got you. Let's listen. Ooh. Okay, so you know, since I might start it like this even. Whoa, see, cause since it's when this starts, I want it to include the middle somehow. I just take it the whole way across. Okay, let's listen in context. You know what thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have them reach the sides earlier like this, and then maybe have them both come towards the middle for more power, because I feel like I lost some of the effect. Oh, I lost some of the effect and the power. Yeah. Except if I can just get them at the same time, that would be nice. So let's try this now. Nice. Okay, well, now that we've established that, let's move on to this. This is just... Nope. Whoosh. Whoosh. I like it. I don't know if that just recorded or not. That might not have recorded. Okay, I'm gonna show you the video. Here's the video. And the video went away. I am sorry. Let's play that again. So cool. I'm not yawning at my own stuff. Why would I do that? Let me put the scratch dialogue back in. I think I'll end up saying it every time for every episode, but here's it with it. What's up, guys? This is the CJ Murray Podcast, exploring music and growth in and out of the DAW. For more content like this, feel free to check out cjmurraymusic.com. But for now, please enjoy this episode. Nice. Okay. Well, that being said, I think I've given my 2 cents on all the tracks. This was really fun to work on. If you followed any of the videos, you'll know that I went through a lot of different other ideas. My main vocals, filling it out. And yeah, I really feel like this project has a big piece of me in it. I'm really excited for all the guests. I have 3 conversations already recorded. I have 3 more scheduled for this weekend. I want to get a huge backlog of content so that when I start posting every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, I can have everything edited, said and done, reels created, and almost set it on autopilot for, 3, 4, 5 months even. And then schedule out another month where for a few weeks, all I do is record. I think that way, blocking it out, I'll be able to really get more conversations sustainably recorded, because I have to kind of change everything in the setup. But yeah, here, let me take the volume down on the podcast so I can do a really good outro. Well, it's been real, guys. Thank you for joining me on this journey through this song. If you followed it all, I hope that you found it cool and insightful, maybe some tips, and just keep pursuing your craft. Get better, guys. I'm cheering you on. Peace.